It's your mining disrupt news surge for 11/11/2024. That's November 11th, 2024. And last week I said we were entering into historic times. I said that we were about to see some big changes. And boy, I could not have anticipated how big of changes that we were going to see. This might be the single most bullish news surge that I have done since I have started doing these. And I do not say that lightly. Before we get into these crazy numbers and the things that I've got to talk about today, let's get some house cleaning out of the way. Despite what you may or may not have heard, the Mining Disrupt Expo is the only, the biggest, the baddest, the best, hands down, expo that covers the mining industry, bar none, without question, and this is the only officially Mining Disrupt Expo that there is. And this upcoming one in Fort Lauderdale, March 25th through the 27th, is going to be absolutely incredible. Why? Well, let's get to those numbers. We are over here on timechaincalendar.com, my favorite place to get everything that you need to know about Bitcoin at a quick glance. And the price is $77,363 on a weekend. Markets are closed and Bitcoin is at an all-time high. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't get much more bullish than this. We are looking at an average block time of looking pretty good. Oh, hey, well, speak of the devil, there's a new block right there. But the average block time is coming in at 9 minutes and 53 seconds. Our on-chain fees are still low. Unconfirmed transactions, under 200,000. Public nodes, over 19,000. Things are looking really good. Now, once you scan this QR code right here, right there, right under the B, right under the Bitcoin B, and get your tickets to the Mining Disrupt Expo, you might be interested for this week's news surge that things couldn't really be more bullish. Let's start the week off with Monday. Daniel Batten here says, breaking Cartwright, a multi-billion, that's right, billion with a B, dollar UK pension fund just announced a 3% Bitcoin allocation. As a percentage, this is 30 times higher than the Wisconsin pension fund's allocation and the largest allocation of any sovereign fund in the world so far. Tuesday, from Gary Leland here, really, it doesn't get much more simple than this. Free Ross, day one. End of story. Get that man out of prison. Get him out of solitary confinement. Day one, free Ross Ulbricht. And, ladies and gentlemen, from the man himself, the Bitcoin Chad Michael Saylor, we have a Bitcoin president. Wednesday, Cynthia Lummis here on Wednesday after the election says, we are going to build a strategic Bitcoin reserve. America flag, America flag, America flag. Thursday, from quite possibly Bitcoin's own Joe Rogan, the largest Bitcoin hype man in the game, Dennis Porter here says, breaking, I can confirm that in 2025, multiple states will have strategic Bitcoin reserve legislation introduced. Friday, James Lavish here says, good evening. Cynthia Lummis and others are actively working to pass a bill that would have the US government buy 1 million Bitcoin over 5 years, and there are people still selling under 100K. Incredible. Have a great weekend. Saturday, Dan Hillary, Danny 85732 here says, by the way things are going, 180K Bitcoin cycle top seems quite conservative. That was my base case. I am wrong about this stuff all the time. All MSTR predictions for the end of November were too low. I'd rather be conservative. And this leads me into my thoughts for the week. It is really difficult to properly put a framework around what this election cycle and the results of the election cycle means. We have a president that spoke at the Bitcoin conference. We have a vice president who is known to actively hold Bitcoin. We have RFK, who is officially part of Trump's transition team, who gave one of the, if not the best speeches about Bitcoin to Bitcoiners in regards to Bitcoin at the Bitcoin conference. Truly spectacular speech. We have 48 of 48 politicians that were backed by Bitcoiners in office right now. And people are bearish? Now just try to wrap your head around the idea that the US might be getting a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Have you considered what that means for the game theory of the rest of the world? Do you think that Germany and France and Russia and India and Brazil and Japan and South Korea and name the country are just going to sit by twiddling their thumbs going, well, that's neat. They're getting Bitcoin. I guess we'll just hang back. We've seen what MetaPlanet's done. We've seen what Semler Scientific has done. We've seen what, what's that company? MicroStrategy has done. We've seen the news about Microsoft voting on holding Bitcoin. It's in the news. It's all over the place. Even retail is starting to go, maybe that's a thing I should pay attention to. And you know what? That's going to be the word on everyone's lips across the world in the coming years. And you're bearish? Do you think, with all of the advantages that Bitcoin has going for it, its scarcity, its verifiability, its permissionlessness, its ease of use, if you take a minute to understand it, its transportability, all of the advantages that it has, and the subsidy is being cut in half every 4 years, do you think it's going to remain at where it's at right now? Or do you think, like I and so many others do, that it has a very, very real chance in surpassing gold's market cap? Now, if you're wondering what that price is, well, that's about $800, somewhere between $800 and $850,000 per coin. And you think that it's expensive right now? You cannot possibly be bullish enough. Be smart out there, be safe out there, and get yourself to the Mining Disrupt Expo so you can learn all the nitty-gritty details about mining, because if you want to be on the ground floor of Bitcoin, that's where it's going to happen, in the mining sector. See you next week.